Hey, we talked about this earlier. We threw your name out there. Your ears might have been burning. But in one of our prior conversations, I think you mentioned you had some connection with the Kohberger investigation, or you were consulted on it. So we don't know what, if anything, you can talk about. Obviously, now he's sentenced. The conviction is in. But this question goes directly to that. So whether you can answer or not, don't know. Common sense investigator, could you please ask Mr. Easter if you ever went to 1122 King Road for the BK investigation? I found pictures, and it looks like you going in the house. So what about that? Isn't it true? You were at the house. What about this picture, sir? Yeah.
I will tell you, it's another very good-looking man that looks just like me. No, actually, the person that you're seeing is not sure I'll say his name. I know him; he's a friend of mine. He's somebody that I taught, and he was the person that I was assisting. We almost are. In fact, when he was sort of being recruited, I guess, so to speak, to come to our team. One of the guys that knew him was recruiting him. He's like, "Hey, bro, he's you, but just younger." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, he looks like you. He's tall. He's in shape. He's got the same look. He even has the same mannerisms as you. And I was like, "Okay, well, I got to see this guy." And literally, we walked in. It was like we almost looked like brothers, like just like a younger brother.
Your doppelganger. Wow.
Yeah.
Now you know how people get wrongfully convicted by wrongful identification, right?
I mean, he even dresses like me. We both tend to wear jeans and black shirts at training.
There might be a DNA test necessary here.
I love this one. Tell him the guy never went into the garage.
Yeah.
Yeah, he and whose name is out there, so I'll say it. But Nick Balance, he was the other FBI agent there. I won't say the other FBI agent because I know his name hasn't been made public, so I won't do that to him. But I was supporting those two people remotely, and so maybe if there's interest to, I'll just give you a couple sentences, and if there's more questions to it, is our team would deploy typically assets to be actually on the ground, and they would typically deploy a national asset, which this unnamed party is, and then a field asset, which is Nick Balance. And then we would have people in the background supporting those two assets on the ground so that as they are dealing with real-time things, they don't have to then go sit down at a computer and go through the data and analyze it and come up with what I would say demonstratives, but a timeline or, hey, these are some things that we got from that evidence that you should be acting on. And so we really act as a support element, like an intelligence support element to the field asset or the national asset that's deployed. So in that instance, I was assisting remotely, but I've been on the other side of that where I'm actually the one on the ground, and those two individuals would be supporting remotely. And it really became a great asset for us because, as you guys could imagine, when you're sitting there in the moment, it's hard to take a break and really go through the evidence that you've collected and make it make sense across the time or the event. And it really helps somebody that's not really encumbered with the exigency of the moment to sort of have a clear mind and just look at it and give some perspective. And we would normally say, hey, you guys should take a closer look at this number or this device, and then they move forward there. So yeah.
Give us a sense of the time frame, because obviously it was a crazy time. People wanted answers as quickly as they could get them, and there was a period of a few weeks that people were very concerned. You're in the midst of that. How was that unfolding internally?
Well, remotely, you don't feel that stress. Maybe I'll give you the examples of the times that I've been there. It is bring a sleeping bag and a pillow and put it under the desk that you're working at. And I mean, it's, sleep in the back of your car. You're just not going home. I remember some distinctly. I remember one on the East Coast when I was pretty new as a national asset. It was a 14-year-old girl that was abducted. I mean, it was a real stranger abduction. I analyzed her phones, and I saw that she took a different path home that day, which was odd to me because I could track her movements away from the school. And kids said that she normally didn't go that way. And I saw her phone hitting these towers that made it look like she was doing laps around a building. And when we went there, we could see that she was pacing around the building through surveillance video. And then she got in a car and left. And so then it becomes, she was waiting, right? It's clear that she was waiting for somebody, and that, I don't care if you have kids or not. We did not sleep. I mean, we sat there all day, every day until, to the end of that case. And it was great is that community actually brought food to the command post and water and drinks because they knew that we were sitting there 24/7. So yeah. I would say if you haven't been at a critical incident before, it is a lot. It can be a high emotion for some people if you don't have a lot of experience. And so you really got to control your emotions and stick to the task. And that, I think it really comes to just having good teamwork and a good process and sticking to that and not not following bright, shiny lights, but really focusing on your process.
Yeah. One more follow-up, Linda, if I might. So how was the cooperation? This was a multi-agency effort from small town, Moscow, Idaho, not exactly, the sophisticated nerve center of law enforcement. How did that all go?
Yeah, I don't, because I wasn't there, I can't, it's hard to get a feel for that. What I could say though, from my experience dealing with the assets that I was supporting is that the FBI's presence was helpful. And so what I mean by that is they didn't, typically we would sort of stay in our lane if it's not a violation that we have jurisdiction over. And instead we're bringing what I would say investigative support. And I know that the two assets that were there went a little beyond what I would say is investigative support and really invested a lot more investigative time than just support. And so not that there's anything wrong with that, bad or good, but just that to me usually shows a healthy relationship between the locals and the FBI, and that we have a relationship and trust that we're not here to take your case. We're not here to take the spotlight, but instead be good investigative partners with state and local. And in contrast, you never saw that, probably for obvious reasons, with the Massachusetts State Police there in Norfolk. They had no relationship clearly with the FBI. If the relationship was there, it does appear to be bad. And I can say that's not the case. I've worked several cases pretty similar to the one we're probably going to discuss, and oftentimes I find that maybe on an organizational level, there's always this aspect that there's a conflict between local and FBI. Oh, the FBI's here, great, a bunch of whatever. On a personal level, I don't find that true. Like once you have a good relationship between as me as an FBI agent when I was one with, like, for example, LAPD, who I did a lot, they call you or you call them. Hey, I heard it happened. They're like, yeah, can you please come down? We're going to start doing what we do. And so I think that's how it was up there, at least from my feeling. And the two agents that I was assisting are really I couldn't say enough great things about them. I would say, I put it in this perspective, if I had somebody that was missing or a victim of a crime and those two showed up, I'd be stoked.